We are going to learn a very useful tool over here, a very practical, and you have used it. Everyone has used it actually. Even this second, I'm sure most of the people around you are using it. And that is approximate value. So before I talk of approximate value, we need to discuss something called as exact value. Let me put it this way. If I, or if you guys, if you go and buy a box, and if the shopkeeper tells you know what, you have to pay 84 rupees for this, how much will you pay? Yes, it has to be 84, is it not? You might tell, you know what, I might give 100 rupees, but end of it, he'll give you the required change, and you will end up paying this amount. Do you guys agree? This is a case of exact value. While at the other end, we have approximate value. So say you are going to buy this box and you guys don't know exactly what it is. You know that it's around 80, 90 because Ajay told us that it's around 80-ish. I don't remember it exactly, but I know that's around 80. It might be 90 also. What to do? How much will you guys carry? You will carry 100 rupees. Do you guys agree that? This is an approximate value. Approximate value is a value or a number near the actual or exact number but easier to remember or communicate. Do you guys agree? Easier to remember or communicate. Like if you ask, you know what, I have to buy a geometry box because the teacher has told me, and if you tell that and your parent asks you, okay, how much do you guys need? What will you tell? Will you tell 84 rupees? If you know, of course, you will tell 84 rupees. If you don't remember, then you will tell, you know what, just give me 100. I think it's around 80, 90. So you'll carry 100 or 90 rupees, whatever it might be. But that's the basic idea. It's easier to remember, it's easier to communicate, or it's easier to use, whatever it might be. It's easy. The point is easy and it's near the exact value. So exact values are the precise number without rounding or estimating. What is this rounding? We'll be discussing that. For example, if I communicate in 2011 census, the population in Chintamani, it turns out to be 76,068. How does this sound compared to the population is around 75,000, about or around 75,000, which is easier to communicate? This value or this value? Right, it's 75,000. So 75,000 is much easier to communicate, and you get a feel of, okay, oh, it's almost 3/4 of a lakh. Right? So this basically the exact value, it's very useful when it comes to bank transaction. Like any money transaction, we have to have an exact value. Any bank transaction, any scientific measurement, we need to make use of exact value. While you're talking about approximate value, right, when to use that, we are looking at newspaper reports, everyday conversation, so on and so forth. Few more example over here. So daily usage can include weather. So today, as of now, where I'm sitting, it's actually around 29 degree or even 30 degree. Okay, if I tell 30 degree, does it mean exactly it's 30 degree? No, it can be 31 also, 30.5 also, so on and so forth. It can be anything. But it's easier to communicate. And I don't have to strain myself telling you guys that the place I'm sitting at, it is 31.46. You guys are not interested. All you care is, oh, you know what, 30 degree. It sounds not that bad. You know, it is a bit hot, but bearable. That's what you guys think. That's the point over here. But if you are doing a scientific experiment, you need to be very, very precise. If you're cooking, especially baking, The temperature is very important over there. Right? Approximate value is what we use, but still. Actually, cooking I should not be taking up cooking, but yeah, any scientific experiment, it has to be very, very precise. Even a decimal point, 23.4, even 0.4 is important. So whenever we're talking about distance, my school is around 1 kilometer. My school is around 2 kilometer. If someone tells my school is around 2 kilometers away, it can be a kilometer and 800 meters away, or it can be 2.2 kilometers away. It can be anything. But we know that we get a feel that, if I walk for around, say, if I run for 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'll be able to reach that place. Slowly, if I run, within 20 minutes, I'll be able to reach. If I walk around say half an hour, I'll be able to reach. Right? That's 2 kilometers from 2 kilometers for any normal person. 5 kilometers, oh, that is some walking. That needs a lot of walking, is what you guys will come to a conclusion with. Oh, we need to take a cycle, right? So you'll be able to understand, what the situation is. You don't have to need you don't need an exact value. I don't need an exact value to understand that I need a cycle to go to my school or the railway station. I need an auto to go to the railway station. Or I need someone to drop me to go to the railway station. That will be clear. So this is where you use approximate value. One more example of approximate value is I'll be reaching in 20 minutes. So it can be within 15 minutes, 30 seconds, or it can be 16 minutes, 42 seconds, or it can be 21 minutes, 30 seconds. It can be anything. But it is easier to communicate with 20 minutes, is it not? Do you guys agree? So the function will start at 7 o'clock. People will reach 6:54. People will reach at 6:40. Some will reach at 7:30, 7:20, whatever it might be. So that's your approximate value. There are ways of approximating. There are two things, rounding up or rounding down. So when it comes to rounding up, right, what is that exactly we do? We take up the higher value. For example, if a school has 732 students, the principal will order for, say, sweets or some shoes or whatever it might be as 750. It's better to have a bit extra rather than having less, is it not? So we'll round up. Rounding down happens, say a shopkeeper approximating a number to a lower value is rounding down. Our shopkeeper rounds 470 to 450 instead of 500. Let me explain this way. Rounding up is nothing but, say you have a number. Rounding up is to go to the higher value. So this is up. You're moving up, right? So let me put it this way. This is moving to the higher value. While down is you're moving to the lower value. That's down, as simple as that. Of course, your question will be when to use what. That's what we'll learn. And that is actually common sense. And that's what I'll be asking you guys to think of. And we'll do a lot of question to understand this. Now, think and share situation wherein you'll round up, round down. Either rounding up or rounding down is okay when exact number are needed. Yes. Now you have to pause and make a list of maybe three set of examples other than what we have discussed for each of this. 3 examples. Pause and think. Okay, so rounding up, what I'm thinking is, actually even I'm getting the same thing again. When we are traveling, right, distance, time, when we are going to shop, those are 3 examples I already gave. When should we round up? I guess marks. Actually, marks rounding down is better if we get better than whatever we estimate. But we tend to tell higher marks than what we might get, Generally, we get scared. Kids get scared, right? When I tell we, I'm talking about you guys, but still, So yeah, I mean, even I would have done it when I was a kid. Mostly not, but anyways, my parents were good with me being honest. But yeah, where else? Rounding up, I'm not able to think of more. Then rounding down. Rounding down is again shopkeeper example, though you guys know. That's one of the things. Rounding down, say maybe number of pages that we have to read. Yeah, number of books, I guess. Whenever we go to buy something, the number of items, we generally buy one extra, right? Rounding down is whenever we talk of shopkeeper, they do that. Oh, predicting marks. Okay, I've given it over here. So generally marks can go either ways. So there is an either wala also. Ideally, it should be less. You tell that I might get this. It's better to keep it on the low bar. And if we pass that, pass that mark, that will make us feel better. Either rounding up or rounding down, population count, right? Even I'm not able to exactly get, guys. Finally, exact is to do with price. So whenever we're paying someone something, so even if after it rounds up or rounds down, the amount we pay is exact. It can't be anything. Then exact science related things, it has to be exact. Then exact is, say we're buying gold, then it's exact. They won't give you just for sake of it 1 gram less or more. That's not the case. Then what else? Whenever you're increasing the volume, right? That goes in step. That can be exact. Again, it's not a very good example. It's not easy, huh? I thought it'll be easy to get 3 examples. Yeah, as of now, I'm not able to figure it out, guys. Okay. There are a bunch of examples over here. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't talk of this. So here we're looking at a graph which deals with related to economics. I don't know if you guys know economics. I think it's to do with money, and yeah, I think I can tell money in terms of money. So here we can see all these are approximate values. So this is to do with foreign trade, that is import and exports. I don't know how much you guys will understand as of now, but what values we are looking at, this is by the government, right? And the numbers are by government, and this pictorial representation can be from any organization, can be government or non-government, but the values are from the government, and these are all approximate values. So exact number might be something else. It's in billion, and it can be 675,432 and so on and so forth. So billion, million, so on and so forth, right? 1,000, and the number need not be 4000. It need not be that. It can be 432,164,211. But we approximate to this value. So I just wanted to show that approximate value are very practical and pretty much used everywhere, right? So let me explain all of this again. Exact values are nothing but exactly you have to take that value. There is no compromise on increasing or decreasing it. While approximate value is, you can go to the nearest whole number which has a 0 or some number which is much easier to communicate, right? Much easier to write as well. Now, there is a way to approximate. This we will learn in detail, but this is an overview. Either we can round it up or round it down. Rounding up is going to the next nearest value, which makes it simpler for us to communicate. Rounding down is going to the next nearest value, which makes it easier for us to communicate, but lesser. Sorry, I missed this word. Rounding up is going to the next nearest value, which is easier to communicate, yes, and also more than the original value, right? It's more than the original value. So this is the original value. So this is your approximate value. So we're pushing it down to, we're pushing it down to some new value. We're pushing it down to some new value, which is near to the original value. Either it can be less or more. If it's less, it's rounding down. If it's more, it's rounding up. When to use what? So we have few examples over here. Rounding up when we're traveling. When you're talking about time, say I'll reach there by 40 minutes. It's better to tell a rounded up value rather than rounded down, because we might end up getting stuck in traffic. So when it comes to time, it's better to round it up. Rounding down, it's better to round down when you're talking about marks. Either rounding up or rounding down will not matter when you're talking about population. Exact number deals with price, buying things, so on and so forth. If someone asks you to put 10, say, I don't know, cinnamon sticks, that's a lot actually, 10. But if someone does that, right? I'm not a chef or anyone. I mean, I don't have a clue what I just said, but point is, if someone asks you to cook something and they tell, you know what, this is the amount you have to use, that is exact, right? Cooking generally is approximate value, but yeah, if you can count, we go with exact. Baking is supposed to be exact numbers, but yeah, end of it, everything is approximation only. But let me not confuse you guys. Okay, so you can have a look at the write-up.